Have you ever wondered what really goes on behind the doors of the world's biggest beverage factories? We grab an ice-cold Coke on a hot day or crack open a can of Red Bull before heading into a workout, but we rarely stop to think about the incredible history, cutting-edge technology, and strict quality control that make every sip taste the same no matter where in the world you are. Today, taking you on a thrilling journey into the world of two of the most iconic drinks on the planet, Coca-Cola and Red Bull. From the earliest days when Coca-Cola was sold for just 5 cents a glass in a small Atlanta pharmacy to Red Bull's rise as the global symbol of energy and adventure, we'll uncover the secrets, stories, and behind-the-scenes processes that turn these drinks into cultural phenomena. By the end, you'll see your favorite beverages in a completely new light, with a deeper appreciation for the craftsmanship and innovation poured into every can and bottle. The story of Coca-Cola began in 1886, in the bustling city of Atlanta, Georgia, when pharmacist Dr. John Stith Pemberton crafted the first version of the Coca-Cola syrup. It was a simple concoction, served over a soda fountain at Jacob's Pharmacy, costing just 5 cents a glass. Yet within that glass was a flavor so unique and refreshing that it quickly began to stand out among the many tonics and drinks of the era. Soon after, entrepreneur Asa Candler recognized its potential, purchased the rights, and used aggressive marketing strategies to propel Coca-Cola into homes and hearts across the United States. By the early 1900s, clever advertising campaigns and the instantly recognizable Contour bottle helped transform Coca-Cola from a small-scale pharmacy drink into a household staple. Under the leadership of Robert Woodruff in the 1920s, Coca-Cola expanded worldwide, making its mark not only as a beverage but as a symbol of joy, unity, and refreshment. Today, Coke isn't just a drink. It's an icon woven into American culture and global history. The making of Coca-Cola inside modern factories is both highly scientific and deeply guarded. Everything begins with the syrup, the magic base that defines Coke's taste. Inside secure facilities, carefully measured quantities of sugar, caramel color, phosphoric acid, caffeine, and the secret blend of natural flavors come together under strict quality control. Workers operate in clean, high-tech environments to ensure every batch tastes exactly the same as the one before. The syrup is stored in specialized stainless steel containers, ready to be transformed into the fizzy drink the world knows and loves. Few people ever glimpse this stage of production because the formula has been one of the best-kept secrets in the business world for more than a century. Once the syrup is ready, it's pumped into mixing tanks, where it is combined with purified carbonated water. Carbonation, the key to that signature fizz, is added under pressure, carefully balanced to achieve just the right sparkle without overwhelming the flavor. Machines measure everything to the tiniest fraction, because one small variation could disrupt the taste millions of people expect every day. This precision is why Coca-Cola can promise that a bottle bought in New York will taste the same as one purchased in Tokyo or Rio de Janeiro. In fact, Coke has been so consistent in its flavor that in 1985 it was even consumed in space, when NASA partnered with Coca-Cola to design a space can that astronauts aboard the Challenger could enjoy in microgravity. From the mixing tanks, the drink flows through stainless steel pipes to the filling lines, where tens of thousands of clean, sanitized glass bottles, plastic bottles, and aluminum cans wait to be filled. Each container goes through a meticulous rinsing and sterilization process to ensure absolute hygiene before it even touches a drop of Coke. High-speed filling machines then dispense the exact amount of liquid into every bottle or can, sealing them immediately with caps or pull tabs to lock in the carbonation and freshness. Watching the bottling lines in action is mesmerizing, rows of bottles racing along conveyor belts, filling within milliseconds, then whisked away to capping stations where they're instantly sealed. But production doesn't stop there. Coca-Cola is obsessive about quality control. Random samples are pulled from the line and sent to tasting labs, where expert tasters evaluate the balance of sweetness, acidity, and carbonation. Coke has a flavor profile unlike any other soda, a careful mix of vanilla, caramel, and citrusy tang, offset with just the slightest bitterness to keep it crisp. If the batch doesn't meet exacting standards, it never makes it to shelves. Once approved, the bottles and cans are labeled, shrink-wrapped, and packaged into cases using advanced robotic systems that stack and wrap pallets with almost artistic precision. These pallets are then loaded into trucks or shipping containers, ready to supply the billions of consumers who keep Coca-Cola at the top of the world's beverage market. In 2023 alone, Coca-Cola reported $45.8 billion in sales, fueled by smart pricing strategies and a portfolio that now includes waters, teas, and low-sugar alternatives. Now let's shift gears to another drink that reshaped the beverage industry in its own way, Red Bull. While Coca-Cola's history stretches back more than a century, Red Bull is a much more modern creation. The story began in the 1980s when Austrian entrepreneur Dietrich Mateschitz discovered a Thai energy drink called Krating Daeng. Partnering with its creator, Chaleo Uvidhia, Mateschitz reformulated the beverage to suit international tastes, gave it a sleek, slim can design, and launched it in Austria in 1987. Red Bull wasn't just a drink, it was a lifestyle. With the daring slogan "Red Bull gives you wings," the brand targeted adventurers, athletes, students, and anyone needing a quick energy boost. Through bold marketing campaigns, extreme sports sponsorships, and unforgettable advertisements, Red Bull created a culture around energy and excitement. Today, Red Bull is available in more than 170 countries, selling billions of cans each year. The production of Red Bull is just as fascinating as its rise to fame. The drink's formula centers around a few key ingredients: caffeine for energy, taurine to support performance, B-group vitamins to aid metabolism, and sugars such as sucrose and glucose to provide sweetness and a quick energy source. While some myths swirl around taurine's origins, it was first discovered in ox bile in the 1800s. Modern taurine is synthesized in laboratories, making it completely vegetarian-friendly. Health regulators worldwide, including the European Food Safety Authority, confirmed that Red Bull is safe to consume in moderation, much like a cup of coffee. At Red Bull factories, these ingredients are measured and blended with precision. The caffeine, taurine, vitamins, sugars, and water are mixed in large stainless steel tanks, stirred until perfectly dissolved, and tested for flavor consistency. This strict control ensures that a can of Red Bull purchased in Los Angeles tastes identical to one bought in Berlin or Tokyo. Meanwhile, the iconic cans themselves are crafted from aluminum sheets, shaped into Red Bull's slim, recognizable form. A protective coating is applied inside each can to prevent the drink from reacting with the metal, guaranteeing that the crisp, slightly medicinal flavor remains pure and unchanged until the moment you crack it open. Once the mixture is ready, it flows into high-speed canning lines where thousands of cans are filled, sealed, and pressurized every minute. Just like Coca-Cola, Red Bull employs rigorous quality control measures, pulling random samples from each batch for laboratory testing. The finished cans are then wrapped, packed into cases, stacked onto pallets, and prepared for distribution to stores, gyms, and vending machines across the globe. The efficiency of these production systems allows Red Bull to keep up with the massive global demand that has turned it into a multi-billion-dollar brand. What makes Red Bull's story so unique is not just its formula, but how it marketed itself. By diving into extreme sports, sponsoring cliff diving, Formula One racing, and even space jumps, Red Bull became more than a drink. It became a symbol of adrenaline, youth, and pushing the limits of human performance. While Coca-Cola sells nostalgia and joy, Red Bull sells daring and energy, making them two of the most brilliant case studies in global branding. When you crack open an ice-cold can of Red Bull or pour yourself a glass of fresh orange juice at breakfast, you probably don't think twice about the incredible journey that drink has taken before it ever reached your hands. Every sip is the result of a carefully engineered process, a mix of science, technology, and tradition working together to guarantee freshness, flavor, and safety. Behind the shiny aluminum can and the carton in your fridge lies a fascinating story about precision, quality checks, and the legacy of beverages that fuel and refresh millions of people every day. So let's dive deep into the world of drink production, where a single mistake could ruin a batch, but when done right, it delivers the taste we've all come to love. Let's start with Red Bull, the iconic energy drink that has become a global powerhouse. Its slim, sleek can isn't just designed to look stylish or fit neatly into cup holders and backpacks. It plays a crucial role in preserving flavor and keeping the drink safe to consume. Inside every can is a special coating, invisible to the eye but essential to the taste. This barrier prevents the liquid from reacting with the aluminum, ensuring the flavor profile stays consistent from the first sip to the last. Without this protection, the bold and tangy blend of Red Bull's ingredients could taste metallic or fade over time. That thin coat is like a shield, silently safeguarding every ounce of energy inside. Before a single drop of the drink is poured, each can goes through a series of careful inspections. Machines and human eyes alike check for dents, cracks, or flaws in the coating. Even the smallest imperfection can compromise safety, so only the best cans make it past this stage. It might seem tedious, but think about it. Millions of cans are produced every day, and one weak spot could lead to contamination or spoilage. That's why quality control is non-negotiable. Once the cans are cleared, the magic really begins. The Red Bull mixture itself, made with water, sugar, caffeine, taurine, and B vitamins, is blended to exact specifications. Every batch is tested for balance, sweetness, and energy-boosting consistency. Imagine the scale. Machines capable of filling thousands of cans per minute, each one receiving the exact same formula. It's like watching an orchestra of technology where everything has to play in perfect harmony. As the cans are filled, they're sealed immediately with airtight precision. This prevents oxygen from sneaking in, which could alter flavor or shorten shelf life. But Red Bull doesn't stop there. To ensure absolute safety, the sealed cans are pasteurized, briefly heated to eliminate any harmful microbes without affecting taste. It's the same principle used in milk and juice, just adapted for energy drinks. By the time a can of Red Bull lands in a convenience store cooler or your gym bag, it has gone through dozens of checks, filters, and protections to guarantee it's safe, consistent, and delicious every single time. The process may be invisible, but it's the reason why Red Bull has maintained its signature taste for decades. Now let's shift gears to something far more natural yet equally engineered: orange juice. This story doesn't start in a lab or factory, but in the lush orchards of Southeast Asia, where the orange tree first grew thousands of years ago. Sailors in the 18th century discovered that citrus fruits could prevent scurvy, a disease caused by vitamin C deficiency, and from that point forward oranges became a lifesaver on long voyages. What started as a medicinal fruit eventually became a breakfast staple in homes across the world. Today, orange juice is more than just a drink. It's part of the American morning ritual, poured alongside pancakes, eggs, or a simple bowl of cereal. The industrial story of orange juice took off in the 19th and 20th centuries when advances in technology finally made it possible to process, pasteurize, and preserve juice on a massive scale. Pasteurization in particular was a game changer. Heating the juice briefly killed harmful bacteria while allowing it to stay fresh longer, making it safe to ship and store far from the orchard. By the early 1900s, advertising campaigns painted orange juice as the ultimate health drink, packed with vitality and sunshine in every glass. That reputation stuck, and even today, orange juice is one of the most beloved beverages in the U.S., with Florida and California standing as the heart of production. The journey of modern orange juice starts in carefully maintained orchards. Farmers wait for the fruit to ripen to perfection, then harvest either by hand or with mechanical pickers. Timing is everything. Pick too early and the juice will be sour, wait too long and the fruit will lose its zing. Once harvested, the oranges are loaded onto refrigerated trucks that rush them to processing facilities. There, the fruit undergoes rigorous inspections to ensure only the best make it to the juicing line. Size, ripeness, and overall quality determine which oranges move forward, while the rest are set aside for other uses. Cleaning is the next vital step. Oranges tumble through high-pressure water sprays, sometimes with mild detergents, to remove dirt, pesticides, and debris. In some facilities, the fruit is even scrubbed to get rid of stubborn residues. Only after this deep cleaning do the oranges meet their fate. Giant juicing machines that cut and squeeze them with incredible efficiency. Out pours the golden liquid, bursting with natural sugars, acids, and oils. The first filter removes seeds and pulp, while subsequent filters refine the juice to achieve the desired smoothness. Depending on the brand, some juices keep more pulp for texture, while others go through extra filters to create that crystal-clear finish. Once filtered, the juice undergoes pasteurization to destroy microbes and extend shelf life. Then comes an interesting twist. Much of the juice is concentrated. By evaporating most of the water, manufacturers make the juice lighter to transport and easier to store. Later, before packaging, the concentrate is reconstituted with fresh water and often blended with juice from different batches to create a consistent taste profile. This blending process is crucial. You wouldn't want your morning glass of orange juice to taste wildly different from week to week. Technicians carefully adjust for sweetness, acidity, and aroma, sometimes even adding back natural orange oils collected during processing to restore that fresh squeezed flavor. The juice is then pumped into giant chilled tanks until it's ready to be bottled or boxed. Packaging is another science in itself. Cartons are designed to block light and air, which can degrade vitamin C and alter flavor. Plastic bottles are made with materials that prevent oxygen from seeping in. Every step is geared toward delivering the freshest possible taste to your table. By the time you grab a carton of Tropicana, Minute Maid, or Florida's Natural from the grocery store, that juice has passed through dozens of machines, quality checks, and safety protocols. It's no longer just squeezed fruit, it's the result of decades of refinement and innovation. When you walk into a convenience store or grab a drink from a vending machine, there's always that familiar choice staring back at you: 7-Up or Sprite. It's an age-old debate in the world of sodas, and no matter which side you're on, you've probably compared the two at some point. Some swear by Sprite's sharp and sugary citrus punch, while others remain loyal to the clean, crisp, and slightly more subtle taste of 7-Up. But have you ever wondered how 7-Up manages to hold its ground in this battle of the lemon-lime titans? Behind every sip of 7-Up is a fascinating story that combines nearly a century of history with a high-tech, ultra-precise production process that ensures the soda in your hand tastes exactly the way it should. Today we're going behind the scenes to uncover how 7-Up became a global soda icon, how it goes head-to-head with Sprite, and how every single bottle manages to deliver that refreshing fizz that Americans love. The journey of 7-Up begins in 1929, right before one of the darkest chapters in U.S. history. Charles Leeper Grigg, a soft drink inventor from Missouri, had been experimenting with new flavors when he introduced his creation under the unusual name, Bib Label Lithiated Lemon Lime Soda. Yes, that was its actual name, and it hit the market just 2 weeks before the infamous stock market crash of 1929. At the time, the drink contained lithium citrate, a mood stabilizer, which gave it a reputation as not just a soda, but something with uplifting effects. It was marketed as a refreshing lemon-lime drink that could brighten your spirits in more ways than one. But the name was a bit of a mouthful, so within a few years, Grigg's creation was rebranded simply as 7-Up. Even though no one knows for sure where this 7-Up name came from. Some theories point to its 7 ingredients or the lucky number 7, it was catchy enough to stick. By the 1940s, 7-Up had already cemented itself as a serious player in the soda market. While Coca-Cola and Pepsi dominated the cola world, 7-Up carved out its own unique niche with its lemon-lime flavor, standing apart from the caramel-colored, caffeine-packed colas. Consumers loved its clean, crisp taste, and by the post-war years, it was already a household name in the U.S. However, a major turning point came in the 1950s when concerns about lithium in consumer products forced the company to reformulate. Lithium citrate was removed, and from that point forward, 7UP's appeal became centered around its refreshing taste and caffeine-free profile rather than any mood-lifting promises. This opened the door for one of the boldest marketing campaigns in soda history, the Un-Cola campaign. Launched in the late 1960s, 7-Up embraced its identity as something different, something outside the cola-dominated market. The Un-Cola slogan positioned 7-Up as a rebel drink, a clean and pure alternative to the heavy, dark colas that dominated the shelves. That message resonated deeply with American consumers, especially during a time when younger generations were eager to break from tradition. The Un-Cola campaign became legendary in advertising circles, and it helped cement 7-Up as a drink with personality, not just flavor. Ownership of the brand has changed hands over the decades, with major corporations like Philip Morris, PepsiCo, and eventually the Dr. Pepper Snapple Group, now Keurig Dr. Pepper, all taking turns guiding its future. Yet through all these transitions, the core product, 7UP's Lemon Lime Soda, remained unchanged in its mission, delivering a crisp, refreshing, non-caffeinated option that stands toe-to-toe with Sprite, its closest rival from Coca-Cola. Now let's step inside a modern 7-Up factory and see how this iconic soda is made. It all starts with water, the single most important ingredient in any soft drink. Water might seem ordinary, but for 7-Up, it's treated like liquid gold. Every drop goes through a rigorous purification process that involves multiple stages of filtration, reverse osmosis, and ultraviolet light treatment. This ensures that no matter where in the world 7-Up is bottled, the water is as pure as possible. Any variation in water quality could alter the taste, and that's unacceptable for a global brand where consistency is key. Next comes the secret weapon, the syrup. This syrup is a carefully balanced mixture of lemon and lime flavors blended with just the right amount of sweetness. Unlike Sprite, which leans toward a more sugary citrus kick, 7-Up prides itself on offering a cleaner, more natural-tasting lemon-lime profile. Fans of the drink often describe it as smoother, lighter, and less overwhelming on the palate. This subtle distinction has created a loyal fan base that insists 7-Up offers a more refreshing experience, especially for those who want flavor without an overpowering sugar rush. Once the purified water and lemon-lime syrup are ready, the magic of carbonation begins. Carbon dioxide gas is infused into the water under intense pressure inside specialized carbonation tanks. This process has to be carefully controlled to achieve the perfect level of fizziness. Too much carbonation, and the drink becomes harsh and loses its smoothness. Too little and it tastes flat. The carbonation not only gives 7-Up its signature effervescence but also enhances the flavor, lifting the citrus notes and making them dance across your taste buds. With the syrup, water, and carbonation ready, it's time for blending. This is where precision really counts. The ratio is typically 5 parts carbonated water to 1 part syrup, and giant automated machines handle the mixing to ensure consistency. Even the slightest error in the ratio could change the taste, so the factory's quality control team runs constant tests on acidity, sweetness, and carbonation levels. If anything is off, adjustments are made before the soda moves forward. This attention to detail is why every can or bottle of 7-Up tastes the same whether you buy it in New York, Los Angeles, or Dallas. The finished soda is then moved to the bottling and canning lines, where high-speed filling machines pour the fizzy beverage into containers at lightning speed. It's a mesmerizing process, thousands of bottles and cans moving along conveyor belts, being filled to the brim without spilling a drop, then immediately sealed to lock in the carbonation. Labels are applied, expiration dates are stamped, and the packaging process ensures the bottles or cans are ready for distribution. Every step is carefully designed to preserve freshness and prevent even the slightest loss of fizz. Once packed into crates and boxes, the soda is stored in climate-controlled warehouses until it's time to ship. From there, a massive logistics network ensures that 7-Up reaches retailers, restaurants, and vending machines across the country and around the world. With over 100 million bottles produced annually and distribution spanning more than 190 countries, 7-Up is a true global player. Yet it never forgets its roots in American soda history. Quality isn't just about taste, it's also about safety. Throughout the entire process, technicians take samples at every stage, testing for sugar levels, carbonation, acidity, and overall flavor balance. Even the cleanliness of the factory itself is strictly monitored, with equipment sterilized regularly to prevent contamination. Every batch that leaves the plant represents the brand's promise that the soda in your hand delivers the same crisp refreshment that generations of Americans have enjoyed for nearly a century. But today's consumers don't just care about taste, they also care about the planet. 7-Up has taken big steps to embrace sustainability, from using solar power in its production facilities to rolling out bottles made from 100% recycled plastic. These eco-friendly initiatives are part of the brand's effort to reduce its carbon footprint and inspire consumers to adopt greener habits. The move toward recycled materials and renewable energy is not just good for the environment. It also appeals to younger soda drinkers who are looking for brands that align with their values. At the end of the day, the battle between 7-Up and Sprite comes down to personal preference. Do you prefer Sprite's bold, sugary punch, or do you enjoy the smoother, more subtle lemon-lime balance of 7-Up? The debate has raged for decades and it probably won't end anytime soon. But one thing is certain. 7-Up has earned its place in soda history through innovation, consistency, and a willingness to stand apart from the cola crowd. From its humble beginnings in 1929 to its status as a global soda icon today, 7-Up continues to lift people up with every bubbly sip. So the next time you crack open a cold can, take a moment to appreciate the journey behind that fizz. It's more than just lemon, lime, and bubbles, it's nearly a century of history, science, and culture poured into one refreshing drink. And whether you're loyal to 7-Up or still standing in Sprite's corner, there's no denying that the story behind this lemon-lime legend is just as fascinating as the taste itself.